and happy Chanukah. Since the COVID-19 pandemic entered our consciousness last year, we have gone through every Jewish holiday aside from Hanukkah and Purim. At every holiday, we all tried our best to celebrate to the best of our abilities, following all the health guidelines. And now it's Hanukkah. The Hanukkah lights are supposed to illuminate the darkness. We intentionally light them at night and set them up where they can be seen even from the street. The menorah lights have lit the way for us throughout the darkest of history, traveling with us to every corner of the world. The lights serve as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, we have the power to spread joy, warmth, and hope. Today, we might be confronted with challenges. Some of us might feel a little down this Hanukkah, but on this virtual platform, this Hanukkah program will turn everything around. We will be using the gift of technology that God has granted us to help us celebrate Hanukkah more than ever before, spreading the joy to thousands and thousands of people. Tonight, you will hear messages of hope from Israeli Ambassador to the U.S., Ron Dermer, professional basketball player Tamir Goodman, and pop artist Yitzchak Moli. We also are fortunate to have our very own daughter, Mushka, entertain on the guitar. We will light the menorah together and end off with a virtual dreidel game. So sit back, relax, take those latkes out of the oven, and let the power of the Hanukkah candles do their magic.
Hanukkah 1992, the largest intercontinental live Hanukkah celebration of its time, took place over satellite. A novelty then turns out to be a lifesaver now. The Rebbe taught us to use the God-given gifts of technology for the highest purpose of all, sharing the Hanukkah light and the Torah's message to every corner of the world.
Also jetzt werden nur zivil von zwischen Iden und zwischen Mitiden können aufstellen die Medikamente, die Maschinen, was beweisen, was ist 91 Jahre, kann machen richtig in der ganzen Welt. Und sie darf nicht nehmen in Zeit, bis sie wird umkommen in der Welt. Nur wie man es genutzt, die alle Entdeckungen, bringt Bora, Kodesh Baruch, Elu, Liquide, Kedei, zu aufgeben, Covid, den Ebersten, hat nicht es genutzt, die Entdeckung, aber man kann durch Radio und durch verschiedene Maschinen, als ein Kind, nicht in größer Gibe, hat angezogen an 91 Lichtel, an 91 Ort von der Welt, hat das derselbe Wege, hat das gesehen über der ganzen Welt, weil sie gekommen an jüdisch Kind und hat genommen ein Licht, nicht in angezündene, und hat gemacht von ihr eine lichtige Sache und gemacht von einer Sache, was sie lichtig mit der Lichtigkeit von Teile und Mitzvah ist und in der Zeit von Chanukah, was verbunden mit Lichtigkeit macht echt lichtig. Sei Schlichus, was jeder Riede hat, aber von Tag zu Tag soll zugeben, noch mehr in seine Niedigkeit. Und sein Licht hat der Jiden herumnehmen sollen zugeben in seine Niedigkeit. Und zugeben in Nasame Leben soll sein, wie der Mond früher als besser, besser mit Bachus, beleuchten den ganzen Arum.
However powerful then, how much more powerful today? The Rebbe demonstrated to us the great power that innovative technology gives us, encouraging each and every one of us to shine beyond the limits of time and space, allowing every last person to affect and be affected.
This is a season of light and love, and we all have just as much potential as ever to share that with each other.
Despite the incredible challenges that we've been facing since last Hanukkah, I'm most excited for this Hanukkah above any other Hanukkah.
We're going to utilize this opportunity and leverage the technology we have at hand to enable us to connect with so many more Jews and spread the light of Hanukkah.
I'm going to use the power of technology to benefit my fellow people and my fellow Jews.
This year, I'm excited to see the beautiful light of Hanukkah spread throughout the world and have a positive impact on everyone.
And now comes Hanukkah, but I feel fully prepared to my virtual menorah lighting, my virtual Hanukkah classes with my rabbis, and virtual gatherings with my friends and family.
The Rebbe's timeless message of turning challenges into much greater opportunities inspires us, even and especially throughout this unique Hanukkah, to be the candle in a world that requires light.
Happy Hanukkah, everyone.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah, everyone. Let's spread the light.
My name is Ron Dermer, and for over 7 years I've been privileged to serve as Israel's ambassador to the United States. I'm honored to speak to Jewish communities across the world who this year are celebrating Hanukkah with Chabad. Now, some people say that all Jewish holidays are the same, that all our holidays can be summed up in 3 short sentences. They tried to kill us, they failed, let's eat. But the truth is that each Jewish holiday not only has unique foods and customs, but also commemorates a unique national experience. On Passover, we celebrate our freedom from slavery in Egypt. On Purim, we celebrate our survival from a plot in Persia to annihilate us. On Sukkot, we remember our simple spiritual lives in the desert. On Shavuot, we remember receiving our people's greatest treasure, the Torah. Well, what about Hanukkah? On Hanukkah, we celebrate Jewish identity. We remember how a small and courageous band of Maccabees took on a powerful empire, not to save their lives or to end their bondage, but to live according to their faith, laws, and traditions. In fact, the Maccabees risked their lives to save their identity. It is precisely because Hanukkah is a celebration of Jewish identity that it is the most public of Jewish holidays. We can have a Seder in the privacy of our homes. We can build our sukkahs in an inner courtyard. But on Hanukkah, we must light the menorah in a place where our neighbors, Jews and non-Jews alike, can see. On Hanukkah, we essentially do what the Maccabees themselves did some 2,200 years ago. We take pride in our faith and in our heritage. We show the world that we are proud Jews. Beyond Jewish identity, on Hanukkah, we also celebrate Jewish sovereignty in the land of Israel. In fact, Hanukkah is the only Jewish holiday that commemorates an event that took place in the land of Israel. I realized that for the first time when I played a game of dreidel soon after I moved to Israel. I spun it, and it landed on pay. I thought I got a bum dreidel, because in America, all the dreidels have a shin, not a pay. And they stand for, in America, Nes Gadol Haya Sham. A great miracle happened there. But in Israel, all the dreidels have a pay, because they stands for Nes Gadol Haya Po. A great miracle was here in the land of Israel. On Hanukkah, we celebrate the miracle of the restoration of Jewish sovereignty in the land of Israel. Now, the Jewish people, ladies and gentlemen, are a 4,000-year-old people, but we have been a sovereign people for less than a quarter of that time. Our first period of sovereignty began when Joshua crossed the Jordan over 3,000 years ago. It ended some 7 centuries later when Babylonian ruler Nebuchadnezzar destroyed the temple, the first temple in Jerusalem. Hundreds of years passed before our second period of sovereignty began with the miraculous victory of the Hashmonaim, the Maccabees. But that was short-lived, and about a century later, the Jewish state effectively became a vassal of Rome. The Jews later rebelled, but were ultimately defeated. The Second Temple was destroyed. A 2,000-year exile began. That is, until 1948, when a great transformation occurred in the life of the Jewish people with the rebirth of the one and only Jewish state. We moved from powerlessness to power, from statelessness to sovereignty, from having to beg others to defend us to being able to defend ourselves, like the Maccabees of old. We must never forget that 100 generations of Jews dreamed to have the privilege to live at a time when there would be a sovereign Jewish state. And only 3 generations of Jews have had the privilege of living that dream. With that privilege comes a great responsibility to secure that dream for future generations. That is why on Hanukkah, we should all light the menorah with pride. Pride in being able to celebrate the same heritage that the Maccabees safeguarded against impossible odds so long ago. And pride in having the privilege to live at a time when there is a sovereign Jewish state. A state whose emblem is the menorah and whose light burns bright for all the world to see. Chag Sameach.
Hi, my name is Tamir Goodman. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland. I was blessed to play Division I basketball on a full athletic scholarship and professional basketball without playing on Shabbat. Today, I live in Jerusalem with my wife and 5 kids, and I have a sports consulting company that focuses on product development, coaching, and scouting for basketball players around the world. After many years of hard work and training and pushing myself till tears every day, trying to be the best Jewish basketball player that I could be, at the age of 17, I was ranked the 25th best high school basketball player in all of America. I started getting a lot of scholarship offers. I originally committed to the University of Maryland, but then I realized if I wanted to stay and play there, I'd have to play on Shabbat. So I actually went to play for a different team, Towson University, and Towson University managed to change the entire schedule for me so that I could play Division I basketball without playing on Shabbat. After a month of intense training on campus, the first game of the season finally started, and then the second game, and then the third game. Third game was in Philadelphia, and we traveled there the day before the game. And late at night before the game, we heard a knock on the door. My roommate and I, Mohammed, who was a Muslim basketball player, and I went to open up the door, and I was completely shocked to see it was our head coach. Feeling very nervous, I went into the hallway, and coach just said, "Look, I really want you to be ready to play tomorrow." And I said, "Coach, I try to always be ready to play. What's going on? What's special?" He said, "Well, we're playing against Villanova. They're one of the best teams in the whole country. The game is going to be on ESPN. Millions of people are going to be watching the game. And Tamir, you're starting." And I felt so nervous because my whole life I've been watching Villanova. And now, am I really good enough to play against them, especially when their point guard is a senior and I'm just a freshman? I came back into the room and I closed the door and I was frozen. I was so scared. I couldn't sleep the whole night. The next day, we got to Villanova. 2 hours before the game. Usually there's no crowd there. It's just the players warming up. And we were warming up, but I just couldn't get my confidence going. I was so nervous. I couldn't dribble well. I couldn't make my shots. I was so scared that I wouldn't be able to play on this level on ESPN in front of all these people. After a little bit of time in the warm-ups, I looked up in the crowd, and I was completely shocked to see there was a Jewish lady there and a young Jewish boy, her son, with a kippah on his head. And I locked eyes with them, and I stopped warming up for a minute. And I was staring at them, and I noticed that the young boy took a poster board out of his bag. And he lifted up the poster board, and he started writing in Hebrew letters at Villanova, Bruchim Habayim leTamir Goodman. He wrote that in Hebrew letters, "Welcome to Tamir Goodman." And down from the floor, I just thought to myself, wow, who ever saw Hebrew letters in this world-famous arena? This is unbelievable. And when I saw those letters, I just didn't feel nervous anymore. It made me feel right at home. I ended up having a very good game. I had 13 points and 6 assists as a freshman. And the coach came over to me after the game and he said, "Tamir, I just want to let you know that you won the starting spot as a freshman for the rest of the season." And oftentimes people ask me, they say, Tamir, how are you a starter as a freshman in Division I basketball? And I always say to them, it wasn't me. It was the young Jewish boy that wrote the Hebrew letters. It was the Hebrew letters that made me feel right at home, and I wasn't nervous anymore. I think this story has an incredible message for us and Chanukah, especially this year. Because this year, we don't have our confidence going. We don't feel like ourselves. Because of the coronavirus, all of our confidence has been taken away from us. But this story reminds me, and hopefully it will remind you, just take the first step. Get dressed, put on your uniform, start warming up, and eventually Hashem will send you the blessings that you need to be successful. I wasn't confident. I didn't think I was going to be able to play well in that game, but I put my uniform on, I went out to warm-ups, and Hashem sent those angels that showed me the Hebrew letters that gave me all the confidence that I needed to move forward and have a great game. So my blessing to you this Chanukah is, just take the first step. There's so much power in adding just one light, because when we add just one light, Hashem will take care of the rest for us. Happy Chanukah from Jerusalem, and thank you to Chabad for the opportunity.
Shalom. My name is Rabbi Yitzchak Muli, and welcome to my studio. I'm originally from Melbourne, Australia, and now I live and work in Hillside, New Jersey. I'm also known as the Pop Art Rabbi, and wonderfully, I carry these two titles of rabbi and artist. You know, one thing I've learned along my journey as an artist is that there are three basic elements, three basic ingredients to every piece of creativity, every piece of expression. Step one is what you say, the subject matter of any form of expression. And really that's a reflection of yourself, a reflection of your soul, reflection of your circumstance, reflection of your upbringing, the things that really matter to you most, that you choose and want to share with others. The next step is how you say it, how you choose to convey these ideas. There's music, there's dance, there's poetry, there's canvas and paints, and many other things. And then there's the third element of how you share it with the world. Once it's done, once it's complete, now what do you do with it? The incredible lesson that we learned from Chanukah and from the menorah is to look at things from a different perspective. Because the beautiful message of the menorah, the unique idea of the mitzvah of menorah is that we take the menorah and we light it in the window. We light it outside. It's the one mitzvah where the Torah tells us how to go about it. We're not showy people. We're people of the book. We're quiet about our mitzvah. It's not about publicizing. But the mitzvah of Chanukah is to do it outside. Why? Is light over darkness. It's to shine the light, the energy of the menorah out to the outside. And really that third element of creativity, of what you do with it. Now that you've had something, how do you share it with others? How do you share it with the world? Really changes, for me at least, has changed the way I look at creativity, the way I look at my process. And that the end result of sharing it with others defines step 1 and 2. And this idea really is the idea of Geula, the idea of redemption. Is that in redemption, in Geula, everything that we have is still there, except that it's revealed. The world is revealed in its purity, in its essence. That's the idea of creativity. The idea of creativity isn't to create for yourself, to do for yourself, but it's really to share. It's to share with others. And that's my duty, that's my responsibility, that's my opportunity. That's our opportunity, is to take the gifts that we have, to take the abilities that we have, to take the creativity we have, to take the expressions. So it's what we say and how we say it, and we're all unique. But it's about sharing it with the world. It's about taking the Geula mindset. The work itself is not complete until it's shared with others, until it impacts others, until it creates an opportunity for others to get involved, to others to engage. Because together, we can make the world complete. Happy Chanukah.
We We are just about ready to light the Chanukah menorah. But before we begin, I'd like everybody to participate in a really exciting game. So take out a pen and paper and write down this number: 201 421 1551. And of course, I'm going to do it again. I know that people are scrambling to get a pen and a paper. So it's Rabbi Lewis's cell phone number, and I'm going to say the number again: 201 421 1551. And here's your chance to be a winner. All you have to do is hashtag any exciting theme that you would like to say regarding Hanukkah. For example, you might just hashtag let there be light. That's a great theme about Hanukkah. Or you might say hashtag I'm a Maccabee, or whatever it is that you wish to write. We are going to scroll through all those answers and pick a select few to play our virtual dreidel game at the end of our program. Please make sure that you do not WhatsApp. Please make sure that you only text it. We're going to be looking at all your texts. Again, 201-421-1551. And just text your favorite hashtag all about Hanukkah. And now, get ready to light the Hanukkah menorah. Tonight is the first night of Hanukkah. So we're going to light the first candle. Before we light the candle, we make sure to light the shamash. The shamash is the candle that helps light all the other candles. You can be a shamash too. Light up the lives of all the people around you. So strike your match and let's get ready to welcome Rabbi Lewis as he lights the Hanukkah menorah with our family, followed by Mushka playing Ma'os Sor. So get your singing voices ready, get your candles out, and let's get ready to begin.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvah yisav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Chanukah.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nisim l'avoseinu bayamim hahem b'zman hazeh.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Amen. Let there be light.
Yeshua Chana Elishabeach Tiku Beis Tefilasi Sham Toda Nizabeach Yes Tachin Madbeach Nitzar Hamnabeach Azemor Shir Mizmor Chanukah Zamizbeach Azemor Shir
battleship can crush what's pure and sweet. It's that last drop of oil, it just won't see defeat. It keeps our little hub in flame and dancing to the beat. It's that last drop of oil, we'll take it to the street. And we'll blow smoke in the face of darkness, set fires to burn up the night. Tell and retell all your stories, be a miracle of light. Blow smoke in the face of darkness, set fires to burn up the night. Tell and retell all your stories, be a miracle of light. Canto es dinom, no canto nikmasom. Giboyre miyad chaloshim, Rabbi miyad, I'll be a nest, I'll be a bright light, I'll be a miracle, I'll be a miracle of light. I'll be a nest, I'll be a bright light, I'll be a miracle, I'll be a miracle of light. Crushed like an olive, let your oil flow. When there's nothing left, your true colors show. So reach deep down and grab that spark. Ain't you tired of living in the dark? Show me a candle, I show you the light. Show me a candle, I show you the light. Blow smoke in the face of darkness, set fires to burn up the night. Tell and retell all your stories, be a miracle of light. Blow smoke in the face of darkness, set fires to burn up the night. Tell and retell all your stories, be a miracle of light. Canto es dinom, no canto nikmasom. Giboyre miyad chaloshim, Rabbi miyad, I'll be a nest, I'll be a bright light, I'll be a miracle, I'll be a miracle of light. I'll be a nest, I'll be a bright light, I'll be a miracle, I'll be a miracle of light. I'll be a nest, I'll be a nest, I'll be a nest, I'll be a nest, I'll be a bright light, I'll be a miracle, I'll be a miracle of light. I'll be a nest, I'll be a bright light, I'll be a miracle, I'll be a miracle of light. I'll be a nest, 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 I'll be a bright light, I'll be a miracle, I'll be a miracle of light. I'll be a nest, I'll be a bright light, I'll be a miracle, I'll be a miracle of light. I'll be a nest, I'll be a miracle.
As we sit and watch the Chanukah flames burn, the candles start speaking. Each one takes a turn. The story of Chanukah we begin to hear, and why there's a holiday at this time of year. Long ago, the red candle begins with a wave of its hand. The Jews lived in Israel. There was peace in the land. They were free to do mitzvot, deeds that are good, and go up to Jerusalem, where the holy temple stood. They lit candles, gave charity, and lived the Torah way. And in the holy temple, they lit the menorah with oil each day. The purple candle tells of a mighty Greek king who came with new rules and changed everything. The Greek soldiers marched right into Israel and said, "We're in charge now, so listen real well. From now on, all the Jews must act like the Greek nation. No Shabbat, no Torah, no Jewish celebrations." Your schools and your synagogues will all be closed down, and we'll put an idol in the center of town. The temple is ours. No Jews can come near. They stopped the holy service the Jews held so dear. With their false gods and non-kosher animals, the Greeks made the temple unclean. They opened all the sealed oil jugs, so the menorah's light could not be lit or seen. The white candle continues, its light shining bright. Then brave men cried out, "We'll stand up for what's right." They made a small army called the Maccabees and moved to the hills with their families. They refused to bow down to the idols, you see. They knew there's just one God and fought to be free. Their leader was Yehuda, Judah the Maccabee. Their children hid in caves and learned Torah each day. And when they heard the Greek soldiers coming their way, they pulled out their dreidels and pretended to play. The next candle speaks, its color is blue. The Maccabees wonder, now what will we do? The Greeks are so many, and we are so few. Their army is strong. There are none to compare. Can we go out to battle? Can we fight? Do we dare? The green candle happily shares with delight. The Maccabees fought with all of their might. They knew with heaven's help that they'd win this fight. And when the Greeks ran away, they saw they were right. The glowing yellow candle can no longer sit, excited to tell how the Jews would not quit. The Maccabees came into the holy temple at last. They cleaned up the mess. They did it so fast. They set up the menorah, stood it tall on the ground, but oil to light it was nowhere to be found. What kind of oil was needed? Do you have a clue? Only olive oil in a sealed jug would do. The joyful orange candle lets out a cheer. The miracle of Chanukah I'd like to share. They'd searched till they found some oil, just a bit. The only jug with a seal on it. It was enough oil to light for only one day. But it would take 8 days to bring more from far away. This was a mitzvah they would not delay, so they lit the menorah right then, right away. Amazed, they all watched as the bright holy lights kept burning and burning for 8 days and nights. The proud pink candle goes on to relate, these miracles make this holiday great. Jews around the world each year celebrate by lighting their candles on nights 1 through 8.
At this time, I'd like to invite all my kids over to the Chanukah table, and we're going to be giving them some Chanukah gelt. It is our custom to give our children Chanukah gelt during this time to show them how much we appreciate their efforts in their learning and to encourage them to continue learning. I know that Rabbi Lewis put dollars in every single person's bag that was given out before Chanukah. So if you don't have anything in front of you, feel free to go to that bag, grab those dollars, and now's the perfect time to give it to the ones that you love. If you do not receive a bag, please reach out to us and we're more than happy to come and bring one over to you. So we're going to ask Shana and Sarah and Bluma and Mushka and Rabbi to come over to the Chanukah table, and we're going to give everybody some Chanukah gelt. Yossi is not home for Chanukah. He'll be home in a couple of days, and he'll be getting Chanukah gelt from his teachers right now and from us when he comes back home. We wish all of you a beautiful and joyous Chanukah. Remember, light up the night, light up the lives of the people around you, spread the message of Hanukkah of joy and love to all of those who might need an extra phone call, an extra check-in, and from our family to yours, we're sending all of our love and peace and wishes for the most amazing Hanukkah filled with every type of miracle, with the biggest miracle of all, the coming of Mashiach, where we can all see each other. May it be speedily in our days. Amen. Chanukah Sameach. Oh, I learned how to say it in Russian. Bernstein family taught me how to say it in Russian, and I forgot how to say it. Oh, Bernstein family, you don't have to teach me again. But Chanukah Sameach, happy Hanukkah, Feliz Hanukkah, and we wish you a happy Hanukkah.